Hello and welcome to Go USA. My name is Christian Brito, and I'm here to help guide you through the process of US citizenship and immigration. Ever since Donald Trump and the current administration took office, immigration has been one of the biggest policy focuses. And for the first time in nearly 20 years, the USCIS has made major changes to the US citizenship test. So if you're applying for naturalization, this directly affects you. It doesn't matter if you're filing this year or next year, what version of the test you get depends on your application date. This is one of the most important updates in a long time, and today I'll explain exactly what's changing, when it takes effect, and what you need to do to make sure that you are fully prepared. So let's overview a little bit of what the change was and talk about what happened on September 18th of 2025. The USCIS announced the new 2025 naturalization civics test. This is a replacement for what we've been using since 2008. That's the version that we've been using in the United States for almost 2 decades. The new test is set to take effect on October 20th of 2025. That means if you file your N-400 application for naturalization on or after that date, you'll be taking the new test. But if you file before that date, you'll still be under the old 2028 version. So remember that date, October 20th, 2025. When you file your N-400 application, the day that you file that application, if it's October 19th or before, you'll still have the old version of the test, the 100 questions. That is the 2008 version. So the filing date now matters more than ever. And I'll explain exactly, I'll break down what that means in just a moment. But first, let's talk about what is actually changing. We're going to talk now about what the new test format is. There are three big changes to know about with the new test format. Number one, the size of the civics question test bank. The old test bank had 100 possible questions. Under the new test, the 2025 updated version, there are 128 questions. So there's almost 30% more material. It's 28% more material to cover. There's 128 test bank possible questions that you now have to study. Number two, the number of questions asked. During your naturalization interview, the officer will now ask you 20 questions instead of 10. This doubles the number of questions that you have to answer on the spot. And then number three is the passing requirement. To pass, you must now get 12 questions correct out of the 20. So under the old version, you had to get 6 questions correct out of 10. So the bar has been raised. There's more content, 128 questions. There's 20 questions that will be asked of you by the officer, and you must now get 12 out of 20 instead of 6 out of 10. It's the same percentage, but there's more questions in the bank. There's more questions that are going to be asked, and there's more questions that you have to get correct. So the bar has been raised. Not only do you have to have these more questions, you need to learn more potential material. Now, the good news is that there's something called the stop rule. That means that if you do get to 12 questions correct before you've heard all 20, then your test stops immediately and you've already passed. So once you hit the 12 questions correct, then you've already passed and you're good to go. On the other hand, if you reach 9 incorrect questions, then you can't possibly get to 12. So once you hit 9 incorrect answers, if you haven't had all 20 questions yet, the test will also stop. So in that case, you would fail. This change is designed to make the process more efficient for officers, but it makes the stakes higher. So every question really counts. I do want to add that there is a special considerations rule. So if you're an applicant and you are over the age of 65 and you've been a permanent resident for at least 20 years, you qualify for a specific rule that means that you will only need to do a reduced set of questions. So there's only 20 possible questions in the bank, and you're only going to be asked 10, and you need to answer 6 correctly to be able to pass. So it's a very specific set of people. But if you're over the age of 65, lived in this country as a resident for at least 20 years, and you do take this citizenship test, then you have those specific rules. The majority of applicants, however, if you're watching this video, are going to have a longer, more difficult, a harder test. So for the majority of you watching this video, that situation will not apply. You're going to be doing this new 2025 version of the test. That's going to be a little tougher than perhaps maybe what you were considering was going to happen or what you were planning on applying for. Now, let's clear up a little bit of the confusion, right? It all comes down to the filing date of your N-400 application. If you're watching this video right now and you filled in your application before October 20th, 2025, you've already done it, then you'll be tested with the old 2008 version with 100 questions. You can find that on my channel. Those 100 questions will be the 100 questions you'll get. 10 questions are going to be asked of that bank, 10 out of those 100 questions, and you need 6 of those to be able to pass and become a US citizen. If you file your application on or after October 20th of 2025, you'll be tested under the 2025 version, 128 questions, 20 of them asked, and 12 need to be correct to pass. So here's a simple way to think about it. If you've already applied and at the time of this video going up, you're safe. Keep studying for the 2008 version. If you're applying soon, but before October 20th, still safe, but don't delay. Make sure you get that application in as soon as possible. And if you are planning to apply after October 20th, get ready for the new test. If you're watching this video and it's been some time since it's posted, you need to now look at the new test bank, the 128 question test bank, and that's why timing matters, especially with this current administration. Things are changing day by day. That's why you got to get yourself familiar with the USCIS website. You got to get familiar with their news alerts, sign up and look at those alerts, because if you're trying to become a US citizen, things are changing pretty frequently right now. So filing just one day later could mean facing a tougher version of the exam, for example. So I want to pause right here and actually take you to the USCIS website so that we can discuss and talk about exactly this, so that you can become familiar with this website and use it to your advantage and see what it is that I'm talking about.
All right, so here we are on the USCIS website, and this is a very important place for you to get familiar with. So what's the purpose for me to show you this? Even if you are using my videos, this is a great place for you to get your resources, understand where this information is coming from. So just like I told you, right on the front page, you're going to see, look, a new 2025 naturalization civics test is announced, or new guidance about the H-1B. So here is the USCIS.gov website, but when you go to the newsroom and you go to the all news, you can sign up with your email address right here. You can sign up right here with your email address, or you can simply scroll down and see, for example, this news alert. That's the one that I've been telling you guys about that lets you know, hey, this is the changes that are happening. So we'll click on that and it tells us, look, USCIS unveils its first changes to the naturalization test. And that's basically going to give you the link to all that information on what the resources are, everything pertaining to that specific update. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I know that you have me as a resource, but this is where you're going to get your most critical information and you can sign up for those emails.
All right, so my closing thoughts. This is the biggest change to the US citizenship test in a generation. It's going to affect anyone that's applying for naturalization on or after October 20th of 2025. But here is the good news. You can still pass this test with preparation, practice, the right guidance. You're going to be ready. This is exactly why I created this channel, to make sure that you always have the latest updates, the best study tools. So if you haven't already, check out my practice video for the previous version of the test, the 2008 version, and stay tuned because in my next video, I'll be releasing the updated practice videos for the 2025 version as soon as that official question list is published. So
hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, share this video with anyone you know who's preparing for their citizenship. We're in this together, and I'll be here to guide you every step of the way.